Gentlemen, welcome back to Red Dead Weapons Day. I'm Rolston Gaming. We did this before. Anyway, in this episode of Red Dead Weapons, we're going to be covering the repeating shotgun. Historically wise, this weapon is officially called the Winchester Model 1887 repeating shotgun, or the Winchester Model 1901 repeating shotgun. Some info on the weapon. Overall weight and total weight is about 8 pounds or 3.6 kilograms. It has a total overall length of about 39 inches. And it came in two different caliber options, 12 gauge and 10 gauge. The 1901 model had some different improvements made on the 1901 variant of this weapon. And it was also only offered in a 32-inch barrel length for the 1901 variant. And it was also only offered in 10 gauge for the 1901 variant as well. Originally, this weapon was designed in 1887 by John Moses Browning for the Winchester Rifle Company. The main reason it was designed as a lever-action shotgun was because it's Winchester. They're known for iconic lever-action weapons like the Winchester 1866 Yellow Boy, the Winchester 73, the rifle that won the West, the Model 1895 Winchester, Winchester Model 70, stuff like that, They're iconic lever-action firearm company. Winchester won a lever-action shotgun to get into the repeating shotgun market at the time. And John Moses Browning originally tried to convince him to go with his pump-action design, which later became famous with the Model 1893 pump-action and the Model 1897 trench gun itself. Now, this weapon originally was for black powder shotgun shells in 12 gauge and 10 gauge. Original 87 version was in 12 gauge and 10 gauge. It came in two different options. The pre-1901 version, which was produced from 1887 to 1899, came in a 20-inch barrel configuration, a 30-inch barrel configuration, and a 32-inch barrel configuration. But the 32-inch was originally a custom order thing from Winchester itself, so you'd place an order and they'd custom build it for you, pretty much. I'm sorry about that. This weapon's design itself is actually unique in the fact that it's a breech-loading rolling block lever-action shotgun. And what makes that unique is that you never see that with a shotgun. Most shotguns nowadays, or back in the time period, were double-barreled shotguns. They were side-by-side shotguns or over and under shotguns. Well, I don't know if they had over and under shotguns at the time. I'd have to look into that. But anyway, this weapon had about 80,000 total models produced of the original two variants of it. Now, the weapon itself in-game does very well with slugs in it, and is a headshot machine in Red Online. And I'm going to be honest with y'all, if you encounter someone using the repeating shotgun Red Online, you may want to hold some respect for them, because more than likely they're going to fucking rock your shit with this fucking shotgun. That's how good this thing is with slugs. It is a headshot machine, like literally. I can be running a bolt action, switch to the repeating shotgun whenever I use it, and I can just fucking drop fuckers with it left and right. That's how good this shotgun is in the game. And it's why it's one of the later tier unlocks. Now, the interesting detail about this shotgun in Red Dead 2 story mode is that, and online, is that in the first part of the story of chapters 1 through 6, when you unlock this weapon, if you get this weapon as Arthur, or when you're playing online, when you get it as your online character, you're actually using the Model 1898 version of the lever-action shotgun. And the interesting detail about this is that when you get the online version, or the Arthur version of the repeating shotgun, Arthur's version of the repeating shotgun, it's actually chambered in 12 gauge slug, or 12 gauge shotgun shell. Now, the 12 gauge was a 2 5/8 shell, I believe, for the repeating shotgun, lever action shotgun. And the 10 gauge variant, which was only after 1901 this weapon was only available in, was in a 2 7/8 shell. Now, the interesting thing is that if you get this weapon as John in the epilogue, which is set in 1907, you actually get the 1901 variant of the repeating shotgun. And as you can see here, that is a 10 gauge shotgun slug right there. You can tell by the make of the shell itself, and the fact being it's a 10 gauge. And honestly, I find that a really cool historical detail that Rockstar did. And a few other things about the repeating shotgun when you get it as John is it actually has the 1901's variants two-piece finger lever trigger block in it. And the main reason this was implemented with why the 1901 variant was added with a two-fingered lever trigger block on it was to prevent accidental discharges. And if you know anything about firearm safety, you do not ever want to have accidental discharge. I mean, they happen, and they do happen, and accidental discharges can lead to accidental gun deaths, and no one wants to see that happen. Now, other detail about the repeating shotgun, and when you get in the epilogue for story mode, is that if you do the base design, you don't upgrade it with like the fancy gold receiver and shit, and you just leave the base like bronze kind of metal color to it, you can actually see the in-game weapon manufacturers, which is based on the Winchester Repeating Arms Company's logo on the hammer here, and which is actually a neat detail because in real life they actually moved the Winchester trade stamp to the hammer on the shotgun itself. And it's mainly put on the upper tang, pretty much. If you guys don't know what tang is, it's pretty much just right behind the hammer. And the other interesting feature with this is with the choke on it. The choke type was stamped on the left side of the barrel by the receiver. And on the 1898 version, which is in online, and when you get it as Arthur, it's actually on the right side of the receiver. And to showcase this, I'm going to go over here. And if you zoom in, I have engravings on the shotgun, but pretty much where my upgraded sight is where you would see the choke type at on the weapon itself. So, just a little historical information on this weapon. Now, the weapon itself in-game is used by various law enforcement agencies and a lot of people on the stagecoaches who ride shotgun messenger, pretty much. And that is the unique detail in itself, because the repeating shotgun itself was originally used by various law enforcement agencies across the world and in the U.S. And it was also used by various stagecoach companies to arm their drivers. Now, in more modern pop culture, this weapon is more known for being the Terminator sawed-off shotgun in Terminator 2 Judgment Day. And also, this weapon is also very popular in cowboy action shooting. I actually own the model. I own a 1907 repeating shotgun. It's in 10 gauge, and it's smokeless powder. And this is the other thing I forgot to mention, actually. Other unique detail about the repeating shotgun when you get into online or as Arthur, you actually get the black powder version of this weapon. When you get as John, because it's a 1901 model, it was actually upgraded to be able to take smokeless powder shotgun shells, which is the other historical detail and accuracy that Rockstar went into the trouble to input in the game, which I find very nice, in my opinion. Now, like I was saying though, most of the time you'll see this weapon in other games. Main example I can give is Far Cry 3, Far Cry 4, Far Cry 5, and Far Cry Blood Dragon. This shotgun is in the game, be it in the normal configuration or in the Terminator 2 sawed-off variant. Whereas the sawed-off version of this weapon is called the Model 87T, to stand for Terminator because it's sawed off and all that. This weapon is reproduced like modern reproductions. They usually retail for about $1,200, and they're manufactured by a few different companies. There's Chiappa, who manufacture them. I think Uberti also does reproductions of the repeating shotgun in the game. And there's also Norinco, though I wouldn't recommend buying a repeating shotgun from Norinco, to be honest with y'all. And there's also ADI Limited, which is based out of Australia, where they reproduce the repeating shotgun in-game in 12 gauge instead of normal 10 gauge. Now, I'm going to be honest, in my personal experience, I love shooting this gun whenever I go to the range or I just go duck hunting or something, because it's a very smooth lever action to use. Yeah, the loading mechanism also has a habit of possibly ejecting a sort of hot shell onto your head or your hat or into your eye possibly. That's one of the design flaws of it but it's a really fun gun to shoot, though I will admit 10 gauge does take a toll on your shoulder if you're a smaller sized person, but then again, I'm 6'3", so I can take a fucking beating pretty well. But anyway, now, other interesting detail is that the main reason Other interesting detail overall, though, is that in terms of historical use, this weapon to the period, I'm going to go into overall period terms here, is it accurate to the game itself? And I'm going to be honest, it is 100% completely accurate. If you're going to do a role play as like a shotgun messenger in Red Dead Online's like role play servers on PC or on console or whatever, and you're role playing as like a law enforcement agent or a martial out in like Armadillo or something, or you're role playing as like a stagecoach shotgun messenger, pretty much, I would recommend using this for your role play. And for terms of PvP use, I would highly recommend it. If you pair this with slugs in online, and you're using slugs against a slippery bastard in this shotgun, it will one-tap the fucking slippery bastard every time with a headshot with the repeating shotgun and slugs. But anyway, I'd like to thank y'all for watching this video on the historical accuracy of the repeating shotgun in Red Online and its uses. I'm going to be continuing this series on the channel again. I took a hiatus from it, so you're going to be seeing more videos on the weapons in the game. Next one's probably going to be the either Schofield or the Colt Single Action Army. I haven't done those yet. And in online, I'm probably going to end up doing the elephant rifle, and then I'm going to go into the throwing weapons in the series, like the tomahawk, throwing knives, the bolas, dynamite and moonshine, stuff like that, the ropes, the lassos, stuff like that. Anyway, though, thank y'all for watching this video. Hope y'all have a good day. Please subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Anyway, thank y'all for watching. Good luck out there, and peace. Off with edition. Bye-bye.